not a religious person, but I do have a relationship with God. And I talk to God every day, and He's never said a word to me about religion. So I just figure I'm not interested in that. It's to
Can you
me,
reconcile that with the "I don't know"? Can you sorry, because you don't know, and then you've got a relationship with God.
yeah, because man, I realize my relationship with God that I can't be in charge of that. I just sort of turn myself over, and it's very nice. But what I'm getting at is that I want to find out what is. That's what I want to do. And the best way to do it is to hone your logical skills and your reason to the sharpest you can get it, and to object to every single thought you have and try to figure out why it's wrong rather than to try to figure out why it's right. And that it ends up to me being so much fun because what little I can kind of get a hold of and get pretty confident of, that it gives me a certain amount of confidence that I'm right. But always within the context that I just am willing to be proven wrong. In August, Amrit, I'm
Mm.
gonna make a statement at a meeting that I have I have a verifiable breakthrough in the genuine rational investigation of the question of an afterlife. And I'm putting it that way because I want to be refuted. It's like, to me, the best way to do it is to put your view out there and as clearly as you can and get your argument as clearly as you can. And then putting out there on the paradoxical, not exactly hope, but just kind of thinking, well, if my colleagues find a hole in it, then I'm benefited, right? Because I see my
Mm.
mistake. But if my colleagues unanimously say there's no mistake in it, that gives me a certain amount of confidence. And I am pretty confident that what's going to come out of this is people going to say, yeah, he's right. But what it's going to do is that in reality, we can't come up with a proof of life after death with the mind we have and the logic we have. And for many, that has translated into it's impossible, right? But I say that it's accurate what David Hume and A.J. Ayer and others said, that, yeah, the question is of an afterlife is not commensurable with logic as we have it. And it's not intelligible. And there is no, even though there's a good feeling and images that come with it, there's no cognitive content that could be put to a test. That's the reality. And some people think of that as despair, but I say no. What we need to do is we need to extend the logic we have so that we can, the logic we have is geared to true or false statements of literal meaning. But the sentence, there is life after death, is not a true or false statement of literal meaning. So the first thing we got to do is we got to work on the intelligibility of it. Go back in your mind to the year 1915 and be a highly literate and educated and informed person of the year 1915. And now listen to this sentence. All four of Ethel's grandparents perished and were lost in a shipwreck long before her mother and father were born. In 1915, that was totally nonsense. It's unintelligible. Now add the knowledge of role of DNA and heredity, gene splicing, gene editing, cloning, and you've got an intelligible scenario, right? It now in 2025, it makes intelligible sense in a way it didn't in 1915, right? Not that it's true yet, but that we can understand how it could be, right? Or go back into 1915 and listen to this. I watched a movie on my phone this morning, right? And so unintelligibility is a shiftable phenomenon. And where we are in now is we are in a phase where, due to the advent of near-death experiences, the question of an afterlife is becoming more intelligible. Because in 1915, near-death experiences occurred, but they were extraordinarily rare. In 1925, in 2025, they occur all the time because of the advent of cardiopulmonary resuscitation, right? So what was once a very rare and extraordinary thing is now becoming the point where everybody knows somebody who's had a near-death experience. So everybody on the earth probably has a contact point, right? Somebody who's been there. And this is, it's necessarily bringing about a sort of reconfiguration of our ways of thinking about life after death.
Hey there, Inspired Evolutionary. If you absolutely loved this, well then here's a full conversation with this guest on the Inspired Evolution podcast. Check it out now.